I recently hit 10,000 subscribers and held a Q&A to celebrate. It's a very original thing for me to do for a milestone, so original that I did it before at 1/10 of what I have now. I got a lot more questions and many new answers to give, so let's skip all the intros and dive right into them. So first off is a question that really stuck out to me. Guacameloning here asked me when I would be doing some form of merch. The thing with merch is that I've always worried it wouldn't be worth it. After all, my content is relatively niche. If only there was a way that I could make something small and simple, at little cost to myself, something that I would use myself. It would be a good way to gauge interest in other sorts of things to sell, and a way better method of supporting me than Patreon or Ko-Fi. Do you see what I'm getting at here? I really hope you do, because you're looking at it right now. This is a sticker. That's obvious. It's pretty nice in size. It's pretty cool. I bought a sample and put it on my laptop because it's so cool. It's so cool. I'm terrible at marketing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I have merch now. A singular piece of merch. Something relatively simple, but still cool. Like I said before, I really want to do something like this over Ko-Fi or Patreon or channel memberships. Just giving donations is kind of boring, and I don't have any ideas for exclusive content that could really work out for stuff like that. So yeah, you get a sticker if you want to support me now. I mean, it's a cooler donation button, I guess. Let me know if you won't rock that DXL44 drip or something. Okay. That's enough. That's enough merch talk. That's enough. I had that planned already, and I got lucky with a question that mentioned merch. Like, I got really lucky. So let's get on to the actual rest of the questions. From Shane S. Congratulations on hitting 10K, and good luck with college. Thank you. You might have answered this question previously, not sure, but what inspired the orange square? So DXL was inspired by my Geometry Dash icon at the time mainly. I used this cube with the big mouth, not that one, this one. At the time, I was making scratch projects with this version of him as a Persona character, or really more of a self-insert at that time. I wasn't good enough at the Scratch vector editor to make a one-to-one recreation, so what did I do? I made an off-brand. Yeah, it looks weird, but I'm happy it existed because it's what DXL eventually evolved from. His design today is now pretty far from the cube it originated from, especially since the first iteration of it was already a bit off. I'm also curious what you're planning to study in college, but feel free to decline to answer if this is too personal. So, I'm going to probably go into college for computer science at the moment. I know, a computer science major who is into video games. Who would have guessed that? That's just absolutely wild. But I do have experience with programming already, and I do enjoy it. From Marwan PGX. Wait, you're not a TV person? No, I am actually not a TV person. I'm a Square person. Sorry for the letdown, I guess. From Scorpion. Scorpion? Scorpion? Scorp? Let's just go Scorp. Orange Room? Respect. Also, how active do you plan to be on Tumblr? So it's funny, because when I looked at this question, I immediately remembered that I completely forgot about my Tumblr accounts. That's just wild. So for those who don't know, I have a Tumblr. And it's got some pretty good CSS going for it too, just totally putting all that stuff to use, I guess. Link should be right up there, right now in the corner. If it doesn't, here it is anyway, right below me on the screen. But I was going to use it as a blog to post about my characters and lore, and to just post art as well. I did that like twice, but I should use it more really. If you're interested in me doing it more, then please do give it a follow, so that I know if there's going to be a lot of people interested in it. From Taco. Taco? I'm having a terrible name. I'm having a terrible time with names today. I'm so sorry. What do you think of this image? Wow, that image, honestly, that goes hard. That's like, I'm never going to forget this. It's truly a masterpiece. From Pangaea47. What is Dark Hal? In short, Dark Hal is a creature mirroring Hal. Dark Hal isn't 100% Hal. Some stuff is different there. They're just a little void child. Please be nice to them. They're pretty confused, I think. They could use some nice guidance. From Ramondo. What's the best 3-color palette theme that you can think of? For example, purple, yellow, and black. This is a good question that I wish I could answer, because if you look at all of my levels, I use one color most of the time because I'm too lazy to learn color theory. But no worries, I can think up a totally original color palette real quick. I'm just gonna there we go. Light green, dark pink, and dark blue. This is my very original and totally self-created color palette. I made this myself. Really quickly, yeah. From Super Tiger. Is Dark Hal a copy of Hal or a Hal from a different universe? So, Dark Hell is the former. A, copy. Number 2, are you planning to collab with some more PA level creators? So, on collabs, I've always got stuff planned. It's just that I'm generally busy with other stuff. But I do have some collabs in the works right now. One that I'm hosting even. Will I say what it is? No. And can I guarantee anything come from it? Absolutely not. But I do hope it gets finished, because it is turning out really awesome so far. And I will have a trailer out for it before it gets finished. So you won't be in the dark about it forever. Question number 3. What will you be working on after finishing the main storyline? I don't have a main storyline. I guess you could call the Trials main, since that's what I'm focusing on right now. Or you could call Another World main, because it's more popular. Please don't call Another World main. Please, please, please. How about I just say I'll cross that bridge when I get to it? There's no need to plan that far ahead. And 4th question. At last but not least, DXL Orange Juice lore when? It's what you make of it. Go wild, I guess. I don't know what that really means. From Motion 3, let's just say Motion. I'm so bad with names still. You know what? I'm just gonna stop questioning myself on how I'm supposed to say these names now. I'm just gonna say them and yell at me in the comments if I got your name wrong, okay? Thinking of questions is harder than I thought. How do you manage your time when doing so many different things? So here's the answer to how do I manage my time. I don't. I just don't. I've tried managing my time, really. I've tried schedules, proper to-do lists, timers, all of that sort of junk, and it never has worked out for me. I've never been able to manage my time. I either forget about it or I don't commit to it. When it comes to balancing school, work, and doing what I want, I've never really had to worry about it since I've been able to get by in school way more than fine without needing to put in too much outside of it. Of course, that's probably not going to last starting this fall. Oh, jeez. And how's my day been? My day has been great. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. From Yo, what inspired you to create a multiverse, Project Helvetia? I've always liked connected universe stuff and multiverse stuff. Big fan of things like the MCU, the Hickman Avengers run, which I cannot recommend enough by the way, SCP, and other things with multiple worlds as a main or a recurring theme, and things that all just sort of like tie it together. So of course I'd want to do that myself in some way in like one of my own stories. And as for Project Helvetia specifically though, like what led to it, Galactica and I had initially joked about it with the DXL is now canon to corruption Easter egg in his level Hydra. When someone made a comment pointing it out and seemingly taking it seriously, I was reminded of an idea that we had once for connecting our storylines. Eventually it grew, we got more people on board, and we're here now. And second question, what were the Another World characters like in their first versions? Most of them are about the same. I already explained DXL a bit, but one thing that's notable though is this beta version of Quinzoid that's like round. It was originally a circle and his design was lame. And a worse name too. I honestly don't remember it, but it was bad. In fact, I can't remember, it says a lot about it. I'm glad I didn't use this version of him, but at least I got like a basis for a color scheme though. From Blacks. Oh god, here comes my very bad English speaker. Don't worry, that's totally cool. What's your plan when you upload, or what will you upload whenever both your PA storylines are done, or you're not interested anymore? Truth be told, I'm not sure. I said before, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I do want to diversify content on my channel a bit though, since that's also a bit relevant since you're not just asking about the levels there. I'll cross the bridge when I come to it though. You know, there's really no need in worrying about these things right now. It's still a bit off. Question number 2. Are you going to do creators' backstory thing besides the wiki, in somewhere besides the wiki, like in an animation? It all gets reviewed for the trials. I don't plan on leaving people totally in the dark of it. It's a tiny bit hidden, but it's all in the levels. It's not just limited to something like the wiki or a document. Question number 3. DXL become VTuber when? I would remove the J there. I actually have considered it. Not necessarily as like, I know when people say VTuber, they're like, oh, it's like you got an anime character doing a thing. No, just like a model I could stream with, because I'm not the most comfortable with doing face cam, and I don't really have any setup for it at all. I did download Live 2D a while back to try setting it out, but I didn't touch it at all. It might be worth a shot doing it again though. From Mountain 1. Hello, I've definitely never asked you any questions before, so here goes. Wait, I'm just now realizing that's because Mountain 1 interviewed me for a video. By the way, go watch that video if you haven't, please. This video is like criminally underrated. It was super fun. I'm just gonna like, there, watch it. Watch it. Okay, how does it feel to be one step closer to the quote-unquote big league in terms of YouTube size? It feels super exciting in general, but at the same time, not much has really changed, right? I'm stepping into a new bracket, moving up in the YouTube world, yet I'm not going to be doing that much difference from here on out, at least not yet. I mean, even if I were to mix something up, it probably wouldn't be related to me moving up. But yeah, it is all exciting. Question number 2. What do you like/dislike most about making content in general, not just PA? I just hate the way that in many places I'll end up sharing that content will have me fighting against some algorithm or grand plan by the sites for whatever content they want to get popular. YouTube, for example, prefers consistent uploads, while I work at my own pace and I'm not consistent at all. And it's just kind of annoying, but you know, it just comes with where I share. There's not really that many better options right now. From Nabil, how do you come up with your stories like Another World and Trials? And were there any parts in your stories that were improvised, or was everything, or almost everything, completely scripted and you knew how the story was going to start and end? So Another World was built off the lyrics to The Shape of the Sun. I kind of went from there in whatever direction I could, then stopped right before Nautilus and planned everything out properly. It was mostly on the improvised side of things. The Trials, on the other hand, I worked backwards with. I got the idea for the final level and then built everything else around it to lead up to it. I kept the themes I had in mind for the final level and gave it a proper build-up to make it feel more impactful. I told a select few friends about it a bit after starting, got feedback, and they liked it. So it's easy to say that, unsurprisingly, the story I fully planned out from the beginning is the better one, as far as writing goes. From Camilla the Idiot. Congrats! I'm impressed you were brave enough to show your face. So the thing about that 10K video is that it's actually not the first time I've shown my face. I had my face out there in some older videos, but I took most of or all of them down. I'm just putting that out there because people are like, oh my god, DXL face reveal, and it's not. I didn't even put face reveal in the video title or description because, yeah, it's really not. So, which PA level creator do you like most? So, I've already said this before, but I don't like playing favorites, at least not to the public. I know what my position in this community is. I've got a lot of people that will listen to me, and I'm friends with a lot of PA level creators too, so I don't want to rank them against each other. That just feels wrong. But you know what? I'm going to recommend Jolly Jack stuff again. Seriously, it's a crime that doesn't have as many views. All of it combined, like, just it needs more views. Look at Jolly Jack stuff, please. People continue to just walk by. If you're getting into PA, watch or play these levels first. They are like literally the best levels on the workshop. That is like, please, some of the best levels. Watch them, play them, do something. Jolly Jack, go. From Meteor Rain. First off, congrats. Thanks. What's your favorite moment you remember having while in this community? My favorite moment? Well, it's kind of easy. When Scripps played Nautilus on her channel, that was it. I was so overjoyed then. Seeing her reaction, seeing her enjoy the level, it was like a dream come true for like little DXL who was like, I'm making levels and I'm not like, I don't have 1,000 subscribers at all. I'm like just making levels in my own little corner. And it was beyond that though, honestly. I saw all the comments on the video recommending that she play more of my levels, calling me underrated. I had no idea just how much people liked the level. And like, that was like this like eye-opening moment. Like, I'm onto something here and like, people really like what I'm doing. It's great. And now I've gone from underrated to one of the people at the top. I won't deny that. And it's insane. It's all a result of people like those who suggested more of my stuff, the people supporting me. I mean, heck, that's how I got to this Q&A. That's how I got to 10,000. So, yeah, a bit sentimental there. From Greystream. Will prepare a return in Another World. This is, of course, contingent on me actually finishing Another World. But I did have plans for her to return as an ally. She would fight on your side, battling against a certain doppelganger. I shouldn't say more in case I do end up doing it, but, realistically, you know, From Ninja Sparkle. Is Creator watching over DXL, Cryo, and Watts? Why them? Do they know Creator is there? Is Creator actually there? Is Creator shadowing anybody else? To put it simply without spoiling anything, Creator is watching over everything. Maybe they're always there, or maybe they've never been there. When they appear in the background, though, they obviously have more of a presence. Cryo and Watt, they have their reasons, and the level Electrify sort of makes them clear if you read between the lines and sort of put it in the context of, I guess, the Trials, where Creator also appears. But DXL, the symbol on DXL's humanoid form, which resembles Creator, is the thing I use to tie together all my Persona characters. It's just like a little detail, and I think it's pretty cool. From Dre, since you've now officially shown your face on YouTube, do you have any plans for more stuff involving Facecam? No, I really don't. Well, I did have a lot of fun with it. I honestly love, like, seriously, I love doing it. I thought it would be really fun. That's the main reason I did it. I just get a lot of fun out of recording, and I guess Facecam is also really fun, but I don't have anything set up at all for it. And maybe if that changes, I will, but for now, you just get to enjoy my deep and soothing ASMR voice. From Lexa, what other creative games have you played before PA, where you can make your own levels and stuff? So the most similar thing to PA that I played before it was Geometry Dash. I made a fair share of levels in it. That doesn't mean they were good. They were okay at best. Other stuff though, I mean, maybe Minecraft counts, and I also made a lot of stuff on Scratch, which was practically my obsession before PA. I put out a ton of projects there. It'd be cool to go back and take a look at those sometime, honestly. From Negative, yo, congrats! I was around since the Scratch days, and I saw you grow as a creator since then. But anyways, Q&A question. What levels are you most and least proud of, and how did they affect your overall building style? I would say I still am, to this day, most proud of Nautilus. It was what laid the groundwork for where my style would go, actually. The geometric focus on backgrounds, boss animation as a whole, a weird tendency to always add walls. On the other hand, least proud of Battle of the Bits. I'm least proud of it. Level is just boring. It's so forgettable. I only remember it for being forgettable. There were 2 good parts where I was onto something, and then I rushed and didn't think about the rest of it. I don't know how this affected my style, but it sure was a lesson learned in taking my time on things and making them as good as I could. From Galactica. It's been some time, so I'll ask again, hoping you've developed an answer. Is adamantite or titanium better? I'm going to be totally honest, I have put zero thought into this question since the last Q&A. I do not know, and I don't think I care. Also, is DXLario canon to another world? You mean him? No, absolutely not. Also, so many alsos. What is your thoughts on the British Rail Class 55 Deltic diesel locomotive? I have never heard of this, except that it sort of sounds like DXL, so call it DXL 55. Is that the joke here? I feel like that's the joke here. From Ceaselessness. Question, is Evil DXL going to be canon in another world? And if so, do they like shredded cheese? First DXLario and then Evil DXL. Are you guys just pulling out old characters that I don't speak of anymore? No, he'll never be canon to another world. And no, he doesn't like shredded cheese. In fact, he hates that. He despises shredded cheese. This is canon. Important part of the Evil DXL lore. From Mig. Pretend this question is good. Are any of the other Navigator stars appearing in Chapter 2? And will Dark Owl eat their Ulysses triangles or take them? I had plans for a cutscene involving some of them in Chapter 2. Other than that, no. They're mostly out of the picture at this point. And Dark Owl won't eat them. That's not what they did with Sunrise, after all. From Clockley Fox 2008. What country do you want to visit someday? I don't have any other countries I can think of visiting. Maybe someplace in Europe would be cool. But for now, I've got plenty of places in the US which I find interesting enough. From Nishi. How much do you like oranges? Shocking reveal here, I have never really eaten oranges. I know, that's weird. I'm the funny orange person. I've never really cared for them, though. However, I do like orange juice. Top tier breakfast item. From Reza Tim. I wonder, what is your PC specifications? I'm going to be honest, I'm no system specs expert, but my laptop, yes, that's right, I do everything on a laptop, is pretty good. And honestly, I've never really had problems with running anything on it. I've just had to plug in the mouse and keep it charging so that it runs as good as it can when I'm using it sometimes. Anyway, I've got 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is 4 times as much as the last laptop I had. And I believe it has integrated graphics. I don't really know much about that side of things. But yeah, it does things good. From Gate Gamin, can you say this word? Beansnab. I think that's how you say it. I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but I appreciate the thanks regardless. From Ice Guy. Opinions on existential dread? It's dreadful. From Decibel. What has got to be your most favorite song you've used or plan to use later? That's super easy. Something Different by Derpcat featuring Tolor. It's a song that, I can't say this about a lot of songs or pieces of art in general, but it really connects with me. It sounds so good, it has an amazing sense of progression, it's just like packed with emotion. If I had to make one level and nothing else, it would be that level. From Rory Rex, this is a big one. Congrats on 10K! In terms of the internet, people walk up to others with millions of subscribers like it's nothing these days, but I don't think people realize that each and every subscriber is a real and living person. 1K in itself is a massive amount of people getting into your content, so the new 10K milestone is incredible. Yeah, thanks for the congrats, I agree. It's wild. A couple questions. One, I know you used Scratch before coming to PA, so what made you get into the Scratch community before departing with it? I was initially on Scratch when it was recommended to me through my parents, I believe. Along the way, I found a place in a small community of Geometry Dash comics and animations. I made a few longtime friends there, and I'm still in contact with to this day, which is awesome. It was called Geometry Dash Episodes. I'm considering doing a video diving into all of it. Well, actually, not considering now, because the poll that I did on what video should I do next, Geometry Dash Episodes and my Scratch projects, won by a landslide. More than half of the people voting voted for it. So I'll probably do that eventually. It was a community built on collaborations, and a community that was a fun and great place that I'll definitely remember fondly, even if it had its ups and downs and was limited to the Scratch website, which obviously isn't the most technologically advanced. Well, I mean, you can do crazy stuff in Scratch, it's just hard to. For the second question, my favorite level from you would be Nautilus because of how fast-paced, fun, and how ahead of its time it was, in my opinion. So I guess my question is, will you plan on making any more high-paced, difficult levels again? I guess you could say I do. The truth is, I'm not actively working to top Nautilus. If I did that with every level, none of my levels would be special. Not to mention that I don't think it's a good standard to hold myself to. It's almost unhealthy to think of, really. And it would just mean that I spiral down levels further and further as I keep trying to top it, and maybe I do sometimes, but eventually I just keep going up and up until I just end up being disappointed in myself because I'm like, is this going to top it or not? And it doesn't. I always plan to make good levels. Look, I never plan to make a bad level unless it's like a meme level or something. Fast-paced levels as well, sure, that just really depends on the song. And final question. What do you think makes PA so special compared to other games with level editors? What about this game and this community is keeping you around? I got into that editor easily. That doesn't mean I got good at it easily, but I was able to learn the ropes for not too long. It took me a bit longer to actually make cool things, but the community helped all around, and the community in general was a great place to be. Like with Scratch, I've met plenty of awesome people here, and will definitely look back on it with nostalgia and happiness way long after I leave. From Lemidot, do you know the H-Virus? Vaguely. I have watched OK's collabs, but I wouldn't say I'm caught up with the lore. That is, if there is lore for the OK's collabs. I feel like this message implies there is. From Guacamelon, pulp or no pulp? No pulp. Pulp sucks. I don't like pulp. I'll be totally honest. Okay, the real question is now, what's your general workflow making a PA level? Anything new you started doing that made the process more enjoyable? I'm going to be totally honest, I don't try and be consistent with workflow at all. I sort of just do stuff and sometimes it sticks. Maybe that's a problem. It probably is. It's probably why I have trouble getting some stuff started. And second question, merch when? I already answered that. Third question, no. In another world, Hal didn't seem too upset by a death of Sunrise. Is Hal having a hard time processing your death and is almost in denial? Or is it a writing mistake and I'm looking too deep into it? Didn't you mention once that you wanted Hal to get angry and attack Dark Hal afterwards? So, this is a writing error. Yeah, I had an idea for a start of comics taking place immediately afterwards, with a short bit of Hal lashing out against the Dark Hal. Something that would sort of leave an impression on Dark Hal and the reader, of course. But this didn't happen. You're giving total tonal whiplash with Purpura's level. Sorry, this is like another reason why I'm not really a fan of Another World nowadays. It's kind of written badly. Question number 4. Do you ever doubt your work? Worry that you've overhyped something, or it won't turn out the way you want, and you'll end up disappointing folk? Do those thoughts weigh you down a lot, or are you good at overcoming them? How do you do that? I have to be honest. I did this before. I did overhype something. I did have something turn out not the way I wanted, and it probably did end up disappointing people, and it happened twice. Airborne Robots and Beast Mode. Both of these levels check all of those boxes, and it's why I don't like them. Before those two, I didn't really think about it too much. Ever since then, worries of a repeat have been looming over my head. I've generally just tried ignoring them and avoiding previews in visible places like YouTube, Community tab, or short trailers. I mean, Beast Mode had 2 trailers. It had like a short clip of it, and then it had a trailer for Another World Chapter 2. That shouldn't have happened at all, and it just put more pressure on me. I'm not that good at keeping my plans a secret, but I'm trying to improve for my own sake. I'd be lying if I said the thought hasn't crossed my mind at all since Beast Mode. It definitely has. But, I'm just trying to work around it. And final question, is creator single? Genuinely sorry. I guess, yeah, creator is single, but they're also like an eldritch god. I really hope you're not asking for yourself. I don't think you can go out with the conceptual being. I'm sorry. Sorry, that's kind of tough. From Blanket, I have some questions. What will happen to your channel and Discord server once you leave? This is another, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Nothing will happen to them, though. I mean, I'm not, like, deleting them or something. I'm not sure how much time I have, so, again, I really just have to wait until I get there. Question number 2. What do you like the most about the Synthwave trials? The creating experience is the best part of them, honestly. It's been really fun to try new things while making these levels. And I can just go wild. I can make whatever the heck I want. It's so good. It's literally so good. And 3. What do you think is the easiest and hardest level you've ever made? The hardest level I've ever made is hard to tell. The easiest level is easy. That's obviously all your energy. I was really happy with the difficulty of that. It was super easy, but it was also really fun at the same time. Maybe the boss part of Electrify is the hardest, if not, maybe Nautilus. I'm talking about hard and fair. I mean, like, 10,000 is also super hard, but whether or not it's fair is debatable. You either really like the gameplay in 10,000 or you really hate it. I mean, I guess if it's good gameplay by your opinion, then it would be my hardest level. But I wouldn't consider a level hard if it has bad gameplay. I just consider it having bad gameplay. From MyMaker0430, how do you follow through with finishing levels? You see, it's very simple. I don't. Jokes aside, it just takes a lot of time and a little bit of being lucky with an idea. If I'm really into working on a level, I'll push through. If not, then, yeah. From Luminescence, we have had the same questions for PA for a while, so here's a bit of a more unique one. We know you found PA through Ultra Arch. We know you like to make levels because you don't really know what else to make. But why PA specifically? What makes you want to keep levels in PA above anything else? PA specifically isn't too personal a question. It comes down to being something I enjoy and something I really like. It's undeniably what I'm the best at right now. I've tried art, I've tried writing, but I can't say I've been able to effectively tell a story or convey just anything at all as much as I have in the Shape game anywhere else. It's weird to say, I know. I do want to improve my art writing a lot. I mean, that kind of shows with me attempting to pursue an art fight and hovering on the edge of the SCP community, but PA levels, they're just sort of my thing right now. Or were my thing. Either way, it's where I'm best right now, I think. From Diamond Shroom, what do you find most enjoyable about creating PA levels? Well, the end result is my favorite part. Being able to share something complete with others, seeing people play through it and enjoy it, just watching it myself and realizing it's the product of all that time, it's great. When I'm able to do that, I know that I made a good level. If I'm not able to look at a level and say this was really worth all the time, I'm not a fan of the level. But when I am able to, that's the best parts. From Spoon, congratulations on 10K DXL. You don't have to answer all of these, you can answer just one of these if you'd like. What is the most difficult level you made in terms of effort put into it? I've already answered this question similar enough to the rest, so I'll stick with this one. The hardest level for me to make is tough to say. Airborne robots, especially with the crawler part, I would think. That's not me saying I like the level though, but I can't deny that a lot went into that part specifically, and some other aspects of it. From Witten, who inspires you to do these levels? Me. I do them all on my own motivation really, but it is nice knowing that people will follow along with what I create. A lot of the other big name creators are nice to look up to, and they're also just nice people in general. But, I mean, I really just aspire to do something that's impactful. I brought up Jolly Jack earlier. Jolly Jack is really good at making, like, impactful stuff that's, like, abstract, but still leaves an impression on you. I want to do something like that. Something impactful, something that gets a message across. Something different. From Umbra, I pronounced your name right this time. DXL44 Real! If you could have a custom song for any one level you've made already, which would it be? So, this is a very funny question for you to ask of all people. To explain what I mean by this to anybody out of the loop, Umbra was working on a song for a 10,000 remake a while back, but unfortunately he lost all the files for it, so I feel like putting that level aside because, well, obviously, that would be cool for, like, Beast Mode, just because the song of Beast Mode was kind of hard to work with. So, yeah, something a bit more tailored. Like, obviously the intro of Beast Mode, I was super happy with that, but, like, the drop, something that would work better there with more variation, something that I could do more different stuff with in the level, you know. From Mechanicu, DXL, any plans on working on other projects or videos on YouTube that aren't related to PA in any way? Maybe other gameplay videos or etc. Congratulations again, bro. Thank you. I do want to expand my content a bit on YouTube. It's really a matter of me having the ideas and finding what I'll have fun with. I consider going back to Geometry Dash content. It's sort of what I started with, but I probably won't until Update 2.2 releases. Outside of YouTube, I've been getting more and more into the SCP community lately. I do want to try my hand at writing something for the site, and I have gone through a bit of the critique process already with one thing, although I kind of forgot to actually do the writing part of it. Actually, would people be interested in SCP content on this channel? I guess let me know below, because I've considered doing it, but it'd be something quite different than what I do right now. Maybe it would be better to start another channel, but, you know, I've got all this momentum already. And that's going to be it for the Q&A questions. Thank you again, everybody, so much for the 10,000 subscribers. I still think it's insane. It's just absolutely wild. I don't really have, like, a planned outro or anything. I don't really know what to say here. Have a nice day. Yeah.